Marcus Rashford's role in Manchester United transfer as private conversation revealed. Marcus Rashford was the first member of the Manchester United bomb squad to secure a transfer away from Old Trafford this summer. Manchester United's on-loan winger Marcus Rashford has reportedly recommended Aston Villa to Jadon Sancho as the Englishman closes in on a deadline day move. Rashford, Sancho, and 3 other United players informed the club that they wish to leave Old Trafford this summer. The former was the first to seal his exit as he agreed to join Barcelona for the season. The writing had been on the wall for Rashford at United since December when he was dropped for the Manchester derby. He then proceeded to join Villa after it became clear that a move to Barca in January was unlikely. At Villa Park, Rashford managed to regain his form momentarily before picking up an injury, which cut his campaign short. Sport understands that United have offered Sancho to Villa on deadline day despite AS Roma being the frontrunners for his signature. It seems likely that Sancho will now move to Villa on loan before the window closes, and if he does, United may have Rashford to thank for helping get the deal through. According to journalist Graham Bailey at TBR Football, Rashford and Sancho have conducted private conversations regarding the possibility of the latter moving to Villa. Sancho is believed to be keen to discover the lay of the land at Unai Emery's club before green-lighting the move. The former Borussia Dortmund man received a glowing report from Rashford, who praised Villa's project under Emery and the atmosphere within the squad, which is understood to have played a key role in persuading him to join the Midlands club. For Sancho, the opportunity represents not only a fresh start, but also a chance to reignite his career in a competitive environment where he can play a central role. Premier League clubs had until 7 p.m. UK time to complete their business before the transfer window officially shut for the summer. However, as is often the case, paperwork and formalities can stretch beyond the deadline. Even if the transfer is not confirmed immediately, it could still be announced later in the evening or even the following day, provided that a deal sheet has been submitted before the cutoff point. A deal sheet acts as formal proof that both clubs have reached an agreement and are committed to finalizing the transfer, even if some details still need to be ironed out. It can only be submitted if the Premier League is satisfied there is a realistic prospect of the deal being concluded without complications. Once accepted, it gives clubs an additional 2 hours to finalize contracts, medicals, and registration. In Sancho's case, Villa and Manchester United are believed to be working against the clock, but optimism remains that the move will go through. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Marc Guéhi to Liverpool, transfer at risk of collapse amid Oliver Glasner decision. The latest Liverpool transfer news on deadline day. As Marc Guéhi deal in jeopardy because of outside factors. Marc Guéhi's deadline day transfer to Liverpool is reportedly under threat. The player is now said to be in crunch talks with his manager Oliver Glasner, who has been publicly adamant that a move should not be allowed to go through without a replacement for him being signed. Hours before the 7 p.m. transfer deadline, the Echo reported Liverpool had reached a £35 million agreement with Crystal Palace for Guéhi's services. That proposed deal was to include a 10% sell-on clause, and the 25-year-old was granted permission to have a medical in London. However, at this late hour of the summer window, Liverpool's deal has been thrown into fresh doubt because the Eagles' move for Igor Julio or Brighton, an intended replacement, appears to have collapsed. The Athletic explained that Glasner is, therefore, in talks with his captain in a bid to reach a late, final decision over whether Guéhi is to become a Liverpool player or not tonight. The Reds might not be able to take confidence from this scenario, as it is the German who is adamantly against the transfer this summer. Last night, following Palace's 3-0 win at Aston Villa, he told BBC Sport, "I told the chairman, Steve Parish, that we have to keep Mark if we want to play a successful season. We have no chance to find the right replacement in one day. We all agreed that we just sell Mark if we have the right replacement in the building. We wanted a replacement by July 1st. It is August 31st, and we have no replacement. We have this agreement, so it is clear from me. He is such a crucial player. He is one of our key players. He is our captain. But his superiors have initially proceeded to strike an agreement with Liverpool, anyway, allowing a medical to take place. Only with the latest developments involving Igor has this given Glasner a chance to put a halt to the move. It remains to be seen whether Guéhi will join the Premier League champions this summer. If they are to do so, they may now be required to fill out a transfer deal sheet, which grants an extra 2 hours to finalize a deal. Otherwise, the Reds would face waiting for the January window or next summer, when Palace would lose Guehi for free at the end of his contract. Transfer deadline day is already upon us, and Liverpool still have business to do. It's already been a busy summer for the Premier League champions, but they could still pull off a couple of blockbuster signings as the window comes to a close. Alexander Isak's future remains unresolved, with the striker refusing to play or train for Newcastle United. Liverpool remain interested in a deal for the Swede. Meanwhile, Marc Guehi has been a player of interest all summer, and Liverpool could still launch a last-minute deal for the Crystal Palace defender. Let's wait and see what happens. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Brighton make new Carlos Baleba decision amid Man United £100 million transfer claim. Manchester United continue to be linked with a move for Brighton midfielder Carlos Baleba ahead of transfer deadline day on Monday. Brighton and Hove Albion have made a decision over Carlos Baleba amid transfer links with Manchester United. The Athletic previously reported that United are keen on Baleba as they look to bolster their midfield options ahead of the summer transfer window deadline. It has been suggested that the Reds have reached out to Brighton via intermediaries to discuss potential terms for a transfer. United are prepared to delay a move for the midfielder until next year, with senior sources conceding a deal is currently unlikely. With 3 years still remaining on his contract, Baleba is seen as one of the most promising young talents in his position and has stepped up to fill the gap left by Moises Caicedo in Brighton's midfield. However, it's worth noting that Brighton are reportedly keen to retain the Cameroon international for at least another year and have reportedly slapped a price tag of more than £100 million on him. And Brighton's firm stance has been reinforced by their decision to name him in their starting lineup for Sunday afternoon's clash at home to Manchester City. Seagulls boss Fabian Herzler has insisted in the build-up to Sunday's game that Baleba will remain a Brighton player. Asked whether he was 100% confident Baleba would stay, Herzler told a press conference, "Yes. If there is a number more than 100, I would even say more than 100. I am confident." Ruben Amorim is coming to the end of his maiden summer transfer window at Old Trafford, and he has spent big on new recruits over the past couple of months. More than £200 million has been splashed on the likes of Matheus Cunha, Brian Buemo, and Benjamin Sesko. Amorim failed to find success with his aging midfield made up of Case Moreau and Christian Eriksen last term and will be hoping to get a new midfielder in before Monday's deadline. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Man United agree personal terms with Martinez as Aston Villa make formal approach for Lamens. Man United have now agreed personal terms to sign Emiliano Martinez from Aston Villa as their Premier League rivals make approach for Sen Lamens, according to Fabrizio Romano. The Red Devils are looking to bring in a new goalkeeper to replace Andre Onana in goal after he dropped below Altay Bayındır in the pecking order at Old Trafford. After starting most of Man Utd's matches last season, Onana now finds himself as the club's cup goalkeeper behind the Turkey international, who has started all 3 of the Red Devils' Premier League games. Onana made 2 mistakes in his one appearance in the League Cup earlier this week as Man United were knocked out on penalties by League Two side Grimsby Town. Romano revealed on Sunday morning that Man United are back in for Aston Villa goalkeeper Martinez after they had a loan bid rejected earlier this summer. Journalist Sasha Tavalieri had already insisted that the Red Devils are leaning towards the Argentina international after their interest in Lamens from Royal Antwerp went quiet overnight. And now Romano has an update on progress over Martinez, with Man United approaching Aston Villa after agreeing personal terms with the former Arsenal goalkeeper. Romano wrote on X, "Manchester United have agreed personal terms with Emiliano Martinez and approached Aston Villa. As exclusively revealed this morning, Dibu is back as concrete option for #MUFC if Lamens' deal doesn't happen. Talks well underway now. And now Aston Villa are looking for a goalkeeper, with Sen Lamens rising up their list of targets, while Diogo Costa at Porto is also a target to potentially replace Martinez." Romano added on X, "Understand Aston Villa have made formal approach with Royal Antwerp for Sen Lamens. He's the main option alongside Diogo Costa in case Dibu Martinez ends up leaving the club. Manchester United are in talks with Villa for Dibu, and hashtag AVFC now think of Lamens. Speaking earlier this month, Man United legend Gary Neville insisted that the Red Devils needed a new goalkeeper to permanently replace Onana. Neville said on his Sky Sports podcast, "There's a glaring issue that Man United cannot ignore, and it is the fact they need to find a goalkeeper. They have to. I'm unequivocal on that because I had an experience with Man United for 20 years where there were two big periods of 7 or 8 years with Peter Schmeichel and Edwin van der Sar. In between, we had 7 or 8 goalkeepers in a 6, 7, 8-year period, and it is really unsettling when you haven't got a dominant number 1, who is dominant in the air, who owns his 6-yard box, comes and punches everything, and makes a lot of saves to win you points when your defenders make mistakes. I don't know where they are on PSR, but they might have to magic up a bit more money in the next week or two, or do something on loan. The two that have been mentioned in the last 2 weeks have been Emi Martinez and Gianluigi Donnarumma. The reason I think they would be good goalkeepers for Man United is not necessarily because they are the best goalkeepers in Europe, but they are big personalities and characters. You've seen Donnarumma in a European final save those penalties for Italy. He looked like a giant. He's played for PSG in huge games under pressure. Martinez has played in the World Cup final and won it for Argentina. They have played under extreme pressure, and they almost walk out with that arrogance and dominance of a goalkeeper. Man United need that. There are a number of things Man United need this season, and Amorim is getting to that point now where he thinks he's got a team that could do something. However, they need to sort the goalkeeper because they concede goals and lose points, and it continually undermines what you are doing. When the goalkeeper is flapping at the ball, those 72,000 home fans are groaning, and that sends a shiver through the spines of defenders. It also sends a shiver through the goalkeeper and creates an anxiety around the stadium. You've got to have personality, stability, and character in that position, and Man United are going to have to deal with it in the next couple of weeks. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. I can confirm Fabrizio Romano. Update on Liverpool signing Newcastle's Isak. Liverpool have held fresh talks to sign Newcastle United striker Alexander Isak, and the Reds remain optimistic about completing a deal, according to Fabrizio Romano. The situation of Isak has consumed the media for the last few weeks, and the Swedish striker hasn't been involved for the Magpies this season as speculation surrounds his future. Newcastle have, understandably, been hoping to keep Isak at the club for the 2025/2026 season, but the former Borussia Dortmund man appears insistent that he heads through the exit door this summer. Liverpool are yet to make an offer that satisfies Newcastle, and as it stands, he remains a player for Eddie Howe. Whether the two clubs can strike a deal remains to be seen, with less than 48 hours to go until the deadline. Newcastle did bring in Nick Woltemade on a big money deal at the weekend, so it will be interesting to see if their stance on Isak softens. Fabrizio Romano, Liverpool, Newcastle, and Isak update. Speaking on his YouTube channel late on Saturday night, Romano has provided an update on the Isak to Liverpool situation, confirming that contacts took place again on Saturday. Liverpool remain optimistic that he will secure his signature, but no deal has been agreed just yet. Alexander Isak, guys, contacts again today. The deal as of tonight is not done despite the reports we had in the last 24 hours. All sources involved from Liverpool, from Newcastle, from players' side, deny that the deal has been agreed today. So it's not about the game, it is not about Liverpool playing, it's not about Newcastle playing. It is not agreed as of today, but I can confirm that the optimism remains. We are entering into Sunday, and the optimism at Liverpool remains. Liverpool are running out of time to get a deal over the line, with the window closing on Monday at 7 p.m., and Newcastle will have little opportunity to invest the money they receive for Isak. Although they may have found their replacement in Woltemade, the hefty fee they would receive for the striker would go a long way in helping reinforce their squad in other areas. It's been a saga that has undoubtedly dragged on for too long from Newcastle's perspective, but at least it will be coming to an end on Monday, at least until the January transfer window opens. The Magpies have remained firm throughout negotiations, determined not to let their prized asset leave on the cheap, and it's clear that only a substantial offer from Liverpool will tempt them into parting ways with their star forward. For Liverpool, the urgency comes not only from the clock ticking down, but also from their need to provide Arne Slot with more firepower up front. Injuries and inconsistencies have left the Reds short of options, and while Isak's arrival would represent a significant investment, it could also be the statement signing that signals their intent to challenge for silverware this season. The coming hours will therefore be crucial. Either Liverpool push through with an improved bid that finally breaks Newcastle's resistance, or they risk entering the campaign without the additional attacking reinforcement they so clearly need. Whatever the outcome, this is shaping up to be one of the defining transfer stories of the summer, and one that will continue to be debated long after the window shuts. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.